Hello dear students, I am Shubhrojit Poddar and I'll be teaching your class 12 mathematics. So our first lesson is relations and functions. So in this chapter we shall first discuss about the relations. So for knowing relations we need to understand what is the Cartesian product of two sets. So the Cartesian product of two sets is given by, suppose let us consider two sets A and B. So their Cartesian product is given by the ordered pair A comma B such that the small a belongs to capital A and small b belongs to capital B. So I have used the word ordered pair. What do you mean by it? It means that the elements in this collection must be in the ordered form. That means this A must always belong to this capital A and this small b must always belong to the capital B. So if I write A comma B is equal to B comma A, will it be true? No. Why? Because the order has been changed. Now the first element is coming from the set B and the second element is coming from the set A. So it is not equal. Using this in general, I can write A cross B is not equal to B cross A. So for example, let me take let A is equal to suppose 1, 2, 3 and B is equal to 5, 6. So for writing the Cartesian product of A cross B, we take the first element from the set A, that is 1, second element from set B, 5. Again, let us take the first element from the set A, 2, second from set B, 5. Then 2, 5, then 3, 5, then 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6. So clearly, we have seen that all the ordered pairs in this collection, here the first element are coming from the set A and the second elements are coming from the set B. So using this Cartesian product, we are going to define what is relation. So when I say relation in our general life, what do you mean by that? Relation means a link between two persons. Suppose a boy, David, and he is connected to this person, Jack, by the relation father, and Jack is connected to David by the relation son. So what we are doing is that we are connecting two persons using a relation. So in mathematics, what we do, we connect two sets using a relation, using some assumptions. So for defining a relation in mathematics, what we need two sets. So let us consider two sets A and B. Let A and B be two sets. Then a relation R from A to B is a subset of the cross product AB, or we can say is a subset of the Cartesian product of A and B. That is, I can write R is a subset of A cross B. Is it clear? Okay. Now let us take an example. Here we have the Cartesian product A cross B, that is 1, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6. So let me define a relation R1. So is it a relation on A and B? Yes. Why? Because it is clearly a subset of A cross B. Now, let me define another relation. Let us see whether it is a relation or not. 1 5 2 5 2 6, and I am adding one more element from my own assumption, like 4 1. Now, is it a relation? Check it. 1 5 is here, 2 5 is here, 2 6 is here, but 4 1 it is nowhere. So clearly it is not a subset of A cross B, isn't it? So since it is not a subset of A cross B, so I cannot say that R2 is a relation of A, relation on A and B. Clear? So after defining this, we can see a particular case. What if A and B both are equal? What if here we have defined A cross B? What if both are A? Then this will be same. So what will be their cross product? It will be A cross A. And that will be equal to 1 1, then 1 2, then 1 3, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 3 1, 3 2, and 3 3. So we can define a relation on this also. So those type of relations will be named as relation on the set A. Earlier we have defined two sets, that is A and B. But when we are taking the same set, or when we are defining the relation on the same set, then we shall write R is a relation on the set A. And throughout your chapter, you shall notice that maximum of our problems or the examples are based on this particular statement, that R is a relation on the set A. That means you have to understand that R is a subset of A cross A. Clear? Okay. So one more thing, if A comma B belong to R, suppose R is a relation and A comma B belongs to R, then we can write A R B. So what is it? It is, we read it as A is related to B. Here. So now we shall discuss about the types of relation. So at first, the reflexive relation. A relation is said to be reflexive if every element of A is related to itself. Thus, R is reflexive if and only if A comma A belong to R for all A. Okay, this part is very important. That means we can say that the relation is reflexive only when for all A belongs to A. That means for all A in capital A, this property must be satisfied. Let me take an example. Let A is equal to 1, 2, 3. So, I am defining a relation R. This is given by 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3. Okay, always remember, this R can be a relation only when it is the subset of A cross A. You should always keep that in mind. So now, is it a reflexive relation? Yes. Why? Because we can see here in this relation 1 1 is there, 2 2 is there, 3 3 is there. So why 1 1 2 2 and 3 3 is necessary? Because in the set A we have the elements 1 2 and 3. So for this particular one we must have A belong to R. That means 1 1 belongs to R. For this 2 we must have 2 2 belongs to R. And for this 3 we must have 3 3 belongs to R. So rest we do not have to check for in the case of reflexive relation. Now suppose let me give an example. An example, R1 say 1 1 2 2 3 1 2 3 and 2 1. So is it a reflexive relation? No. Why? Because the term or the member 3 3 is missing. It is not there. Clear? As in the set, the term the element 3 is there, but here the 3 3 is not there. So we cannot say that R1 is a reflexive relation. Clear? Next we have symmetric relation. So to define symmetric relation, let R be a relation on a set A. Then R is said to be symmetric if, when we can say R is symmetric, the condition is that for A comma B belongs to R, we must have B comma A belong to R, and this must happen for all AB belongs to A. Clear? So the only condition is that this AB and BA must commute in the relation. So let us see an example. Let A is equal to 1 2 3. Then a relation R, if I write 1 1 1 2 2 1 1 3 3 1, then 2 3 3 2. So is it a symmetric relation? How to check it? Just take the elements. The first one is 1 1. So if I write 1 1 is definitely equal to 1 1. Clear? So this is obviously, this property holds. Now for 1 2 we have 2 1 here. For 1 3 we have 3 1. For 2 3 we have 3 2. So for every AB belong to R, we have BA belong to R. So this type of relation is called symmetric relation. Now if I see another example, let R1, so we shall keep it almost similar, 1 2 2 1 1 3 3 1 2 3. Let me remove the last number. Now is it a symmetric relation? No. Why? Because for 2 3 we do not have 3 2. For 2 3 belong to R1, we do not have 3 2 belong to R1. So we cannot say that R1 is a symmetric relation. Next comes transitive relation. So a relation R on a set A is said to be transitive if for AB belong to R and BC belongs to R, we must have AC belongs to R. Only in such a case we can say that the relation is transitive. So let us see an example. Let A is equal to 1 2 3. Okay, the same set. Now let us define a relation R. 1 1 1 2 2 3 1 3. So let us keep it short. Is it a transitive relation? So for 1 1, what we have? We have to check it like this. AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R. We must have AC belong to R. So let us take, this is our AB. So AB belongs to R. Now just check it with this, BC belongs to R. So we must have AC belongs to R. So what is our A? This is 1. And what is our C? 2. So 1, 2 is also there in the set. So for these two elements it is fine. Next, let us check it with 1, 1, 1, 3. So 1, 1 and here 1, 3. The first element is, this is our AB, this will be our BC. Then you have to take the first element from here and the last from here. So 1, 3 is also here, isn't it? So for these two numbers also it holds. Next, let us take randomly for these two, 1, 2 and 2, 3. So when you have taken the, now this will be our A, this will be B, this is BC. So 1, 2, 2, 3, we must have 1, 3. So our 1, 3 is here, fine. So for every AB belongs to R and BC belongs to R, we have seen that AC belongs to R. So hence this relation is a transitive relation. Now let me define another relation R1, say 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, fine. Is it a transitive relation? No. Why? Because for these two numbers 1, 2 and 2, 3, like we can write like this, for 1, 2 belong to R1 and for 2, 3 belong to R1, 1, 3 does not belong to R1. So that means this particular property has not been satisfied, and so we can say that this relation is not a transitive relation. So next comes empty relation. So when we say empty relation, that means clearly we can see that there does not exist any relation. That means for any set A, we cannot find a relation to connect with the A again. So let me take a relation R is equal to x comma y such that x comma y belongs to the set of natural numbers and x plus y is less than 0. Now, I have defined the relation on the set of natural numbers. So our A, it has been replaced by n now. So is there any natural number that satisfies this property? Suppose if you take 2 plus 3, is it less than 0? No. If you take 1 plus 5, is it less than 0? No. So like this, you can take any number in the set of natural numbers and you can see that their addition is always greater than 0. That means there does not exist any such kind of relation. So this is an example of empty relation. So next we have a universal relation. So a relation R on a set A, a relation R on a set A is called universal relation if each element of A is connected to every element of A. Clear? That means we can take the cross product of A cross A. If we take the cross product of A cross A, earlier we have got all the elements, right? Universal relation is same as the cross product of A cross A or the Cartesian product of A cross A. That means all the elements has been considered in the universal relation. So R will be always equal to A cross A. Let us take an example. Let A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. And let us define a relation R such that A comma B such that mod of A minus B is greater than equal to 0. So can you see this, that this is a universal relation? Okay. Let us find the elements. If I write here 1, 2, so does it satisfy this property? What will be 1 minus 2? 1 minus 2 is mod of minus 1, and that is equal to 1. So this is definitely greater than 0. That means this element satisfies this property. Second, 1, 3. Even 1, 3 will also satisfy this property, because 1 minus 3 will be mod of minus 2, and that is equal to 2 greater than 0. So we will get all the elements here: 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, and 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4. Okay, also 1, 1. So here we can see that this relation has considered all the elements of A cross A. So such type of relations are called universal relation. So having discussed about the reflexive, symmetric and transitive relations, so let's proceed to equivalent relation. Now, equivalent relation, it is defined as a relation R on A which is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. That means if we want to say that a relation is an equivalence relation, the reflexive property, the symmetric property and the transitive property must be satisfied. So using the reflexive, symmetric and transitive property, we shall try to show that the set of lines in a plane given by the relation L1 L2 such that L1 is parallel to L2 is an equivalence relation. So let us take it. At first we shall go for the reflexive part. So clearly it is a reflexive relation. Why? Because if we take a line L1, this line L1 is definitely parallel to itself. So clearly we can write L1 comma L1 belong to R. So it is a reflexive relation. Now for the symmetric case, we need two lines, L1 comma L2. So let L1 comma L2 belong to R. Now when L1 comma L2 belong to R, by this property we can write L1 is parallel to L2. Now since this line 1 is parallel to line 2, so the line 2 will also be parallel to line 1. Now from here I can write L2 comma L1 belong to the relation R. Clear? So as we have shown that L1 comma L2 belongs to R implies L2 comma L1 belongs to R. Thus we can say that the relation R is symmetric. Next, let us check the transitivity. So for showing transitivity we need three lines. So let L1, L2 and L3 belong to L. That is a set of lines. Also here we can write L1 comma L2 belongs to L. So now let us take two lines L1 and L2 in the relation R and L2 comma L3 in the relation R. Now since L1 and L2 belong to relation R, then we can write L1 is parallel to L2, and from here we can write L2 is parallel to L3. Now again if I draw three lines, suppose this is L1, this is L2 and this is L3. Now L1 is parallel to L2 and L2 is parallel to L3. So from there we can easily write that L1 is parallel to L3. So this implies L1 is parallel to L3 and hence we can write L1 comma L3 belong to R. So hence we have shown that this particular relation is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive, and hence we can say that this is an equivalence relation. Okay, fine. So there is a task for you. Let the example be same. Let L be the set of all lines in a plane and R be the relation in L defined as R is equal to L1, L2. Now if I replace this parallel by perpendicular, will it be an equivalence relation? So now my question will be, check that R is an equivalence relation. So please try to do it and use these properties, like take two lines L1 and L2, check that whether the same lines are perpendicular or not. Definitely no. Similarly check the symmetry and transitivity.